ask me.
Okay,
But let me.
hold on.
No.
I have a question
I
for you.
have some.
I have a
No, sorry.
question
You've
for you.
actually asked me one.
All right, it is another moment of our Affable TV podcast. And on today's show, we are having two powerful men, people that know what it means to say, I am a real estate doctor. We have people here who are really capable of handling the topic that we are presenting to you today. You know the topic? We're talking about investment in your country home and investment in real estate. We want to hear from them to balance it, to tell us which one is more lucrative and why should we do it. So let's meet them. As on my right, we have Mr.
Iyoke Christian. I am the real estate oracle.
Amazing. The real estate oracle. I like that. Take notes. And on my left side, we have...
Shukuno Somaike,
Okay.
real estate doctor.
Amazing. And I am your host, Ambassador Godwin Rosemary Onyeka, the woman with the microphone. So let's go. I will start from the man on my right, and that is Mr. Iyoke Christian. Today we are talking about a very sensitive topic, a topic that when you bring it to the table, people seem to argue till nightfall. So today I want you to tell us, being a real estate oracle like you, self-acclaimed, and I believe you, can you tell us why people should invest in real estate instead of in their country home? What are the benefits and why should they do so, please?
Okay, like I introduced myself before, I said I'm the real estate oracle, and I would like you to always address me with that.
Okay,
Yes, I
real
would
estate
like you to-
oracle.
yeah,
Wow,
thank you.
I like that.
So,
But
talking-
wait.
Okay.
Did you just give birth to that name today? Or that name has been existing?
I mean, the name has been, some of my friends have been dropping that hint, so I decided to take
pick
it up.
That's all.
I
Please.
decided to take it up.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's
yeah,
go
yeah.
there.
So, talking about investment, it is very much important, and it's necessary that as a man, as a grown-up, that you should build in your country home.
Mhm.
It is a good thing. But now, it is also important that your investment fund your lifestyle and not the other way.
Thank you.
For your investment to fund your lifestyle, you have to apply what we call the 80-20 rule. That is the Pareto law.
Okay.
80-20 rule, that 80% of your financial success comes from 20% of your investment choices.
Please
So-
take it again. The 80% what?
80% of your financial success comes from 20% of your investment
Investment.
choices.
Wow.
That is the Pareto law. So it is important that your investment fund your lifestyle. You can't go being a young
That
man.
law is deep.
Yes, being
That
a
law is
young
deep.
man, growing up, coming up, the first thing you're doing is to go build. No, you have to start with making investment. You have to start by going into real estate, because we understand that real estate is where the money is. You can buy a plot of land today at 1.3 million, and then in the next 1 year, you are selling it 8 million naira.
Of course.
So you have to start, first of all, make this investment. Let your resources grow. Let your fund grow. As your fund is growing.
Mr. Chinonso Michael is like, I disagree with you.
No,
I
but-
want to say something.
Okay, I really want to say something.
I said it.
I like.
I knew it.
I really liked what my colleague, the real estate oracle, as he claimed to be.
Okay.
I like what he's saying, but the bitter truth is this: we need to take it from the principle of equity and natural justice.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, talk about equality of human being. When you read the principle down, you talk about morality, the law that governs the behavior of human being. Take it naturally.
This will bust my
Igbo
brain
people
today.
say-
They bust my brain. Just
Igbo
watch.
people said, "Na na mama si no no one euro."
Charity
Let me explain
begins.
more. It is better you look good at home before you come outside. Now, if you don't look
That
good
is
at
when
home,
we say charity
yes,
begins at
yes,
home.
if you don't look good at home, you cannot express what outside. Now, do you understand that what a child doesn't do in his home, he can't do it outside? Now, before a child have a bad character, he have to start it in his home, and if it's tolerated, then he will do it outside.
You know,
Now,
equating investment with family.
Hold on.
Equating,
Hold
okay,
on,
okay,
hold on.
Okay,
Now,
all right.
when I was talking, I will talk about
Okay.
principles that governs life.
Okay.
Now, when you talk about building, come to what? As a young man in Igbo land, you are from Igbo land, you are from Anambra State. You are Enugu State, sorry.
Yes.
But you grew up in Anambra.
Yeah,
Yes, I grew up in Enugu. I'm from Imo State, I grew up in Enugu.
Oh, that's
So
nice.
you need to understand that it is expected of you to build first in your homeland. It has a reason. And the reason being this, that every grown-up child from 18 years up in Igbo land, we are expecting you to have a home in your home. That is your base. So you cannot go and fund outside and leave your work.
Let me come. You know,
Okay.
using family to compare with investment choices, I don't think it correlates. I
Okay.
don't think it go well because there's what we call debt capital and cash flow.
Whoa.
The fact is that investment or building, it's a debt capital. It has nothing it's actually putting in your pocket. Let's say, for example, if you go and you build a land now, if you build a house now, the fact is that it takes more money from your pocket.
Now, let me
It takes more money from your pocket because you are going to be doing renovation and other things.
Let me relate something to you.
Okay.
Madam,
Yeah.
now if you understand that what real estate is capital intensive, and the land is not something you buy today
Okay.
and you sell today and make your profits. You understand that?
Okay.
You agree with me with that? So if you are what?
But then,
Hold on,
wait,
madam, hold on, hold
no.
on,
I
hold
want to
on.
say something
Oh,
there. You just mentioned that land is not something you buy today. The minute you invest in property, you have just made your profits.
Yes,
Especially in African
I agree.
homes.
Hold on,
Because
I agree with you.
Ndị Igbo
with that.
sakune sobike.
Yes,
Thank
I
you,
agree
thank
with
you,
you
thank
that.
you.
Yes.
I agree with
I'm
you
not
that.
taking side
Do
away. I
you
just
know
want to
that?
point that
Do you
out.
know that even though you buy land, it is liquidity. You are not even seeing it. You are not even seeing the money. You are just seeing a piece of land. Now, it will take a while for you to what, sell and make your profits.
Okay.
You understand? Now, I want to ask you, young man, if you now what put the money you're supposed to use to build in the village into real estate, when you go home, where will you sleep?
You can actually stay in your father's house for
You
the
can
meantime.
actually-
Every person in that road of financial growth, you don't just rush in immediately. You have to start somewhere.
Yes.
You can start managing from your father's house. From there, when your investment is growing, you can now come back to use that money
Okay.
to build a house.
Okay,
But let me,
hold on.
no,
I have a
let-
question for you.
I have some.
I have a
No,
question
sorry,
for
you've
you.
actually asked me one question. I want to ask you one. Building a house in your father's house, is it an asset or a liability?
A big
I will answer you.
liability.
I will answer
It's a
your-
liability.
Hold on, I will answer your question.
think it's a
Okay.
liability.
Madam,
Okay.
hold on. I will
Okay.
answer your question.
Okay.
Now, you know, different.
But
hold on, villages-
after you
hold on.
answer my
I
question,
will
you
answer-
tell me
I will-
whether it is good to have an asset first or to have a liability
Okay,
first.
hold on.
Okay.
Now,
Nice one.
asset is a gain.
Okay.
Liability is a loss. Let's
Okay.
explain it from a
Thank
accounting
you.
point of view.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, when you talk about house in the village, now let me take you to accounting part of view. There is no place in accounting in balance sheet that building is what is a liability. Building is always an asset wherever it is. Now I'm taking you to balance sheet where you talk about asset and liability. So building is never what a liability.
But location
Now-
of building
Now
matters.
I'm coming. I'm answering his question.
Location comes
Hold
in.
on. I'm
For a
answering
young
his
man that
question.
is
Hold
no,
on.
for a young
Location
man that
matters.
is
I'm
growing.
answering
No.
your question. I'm answering your question.
Okay.
Now there is some people their village is a selling point. You understand? So you are talking about location. Now, do you know that these are
Sorry,
gone-
what
Hold
village
on.
are you from? What village are
I'm
you
from
from?
Imo State.
You're
I'm
from
from
Imo-
Umolu, yes.
Umuolu.
Yes.
Can you tell me that in that your village you will build a house, like as a growing youth, you are going to build a house there, and at that point it is an asset.
You know, when
Building
hold on.
in that your
Hold on.
village,
You know,
if
when
you
I
build-
started, this thing,
Uh-huh.
when I started this program, I talk about what? Equality.
Okay.
Now, what is good for Mr. A is good for Mr. B.
Okay.
You understand? You can never run Peter and pay Paul.
Okay.
Now, when you are building, I build in my village. That doesn't mean that another person's village will not be better than mine.
Okay.
Sure, you get me? So there are
But-
people that are
But
grown,
would you
people
rather
that
build
are
first
grown
or
in their
invest
village.
first?
Wait. What I want you people to really explain to us here, because
Yeah.
thank God I'm sitting in the middle of the two of you. Is it that you're making a point that even if you build in the innermost part of the village, it is still an asset? Is that the point you're making?
let me make a statement here. Madam, you need to be neutral in this matter. You don't
Okay.
need to be siding.
No, I'm not siding anybody.
No, hold on. You need
I'm
to
not
be
siding.
neutral in
I'm
this
just
matter.
trying to get
So
to
the
the point.
point I am making here is that what? Now, I explained something from an accounting point of view.
Okay.
And I said that what? In accounting point of view, when you come to the balance sheet, they call it statement of financial position right now.
Okay.
When you come to balance sheet, in the asset side, you have land and building.
Okay.
Building is never a liability.
Do you know
And
that?
building will never be a liability. Now,
But
you are saying,
let me tell you,
are
it's
Do you
saying-
know
not
that?
a
Wait,
liability.
wait.
But let's come from, we are talking about someone who is growing. What would you go into first? Building is not a liability per se, but do you know the demands it takes to maintain a building?
Okay, what
You
is-
have to talk
okay,
about renovation. You have to talk
okay,
about
you
a
are
lot of
talking about
things. So
using
instead
money,
of
you are talking about using money to go into real estate. And I asked you a question. What are the 3 basic needs of man?
we understand how.
No. Why are you say if you use the money to go into real estate, then you will live outside?
I remember him.
is it what you are saying?
So before now, does it mean that there is no place you lay your bed?
There
Is there no place that you lay your head before now?
But you talk about people comfortability. As you are growing, when you are 2 years and when you are 4 years, is not the same.
Now, without taking any side.
This
For
is-
someone,
we are not
a
talking
growing
about-
man, let me tell you, a man who is growing, at this age, you are not supposed to be talking about comfortability. You are supposed to be talking about building. Comfortability comes later.
My brother, we are
The
not
fact is that
talking about- we are
comfortability
not
comes
talking
later.
about- we are
And
not
let me
talking
ask you a
about
question. Let me
comfortability of
ask you a question.
Do you
Let me
know-
ask you a question. If you make 20 million naira now, what are you going to do? Are you going to invest that money for that money to grow, or you go and build in your village?
Okay, let me ask you. You ask me a question, I will answer it with
Okay.
a question.
Okay.
Now, if you are making a 20 million naira and you invest it, now remember your source.
Okay.
Remember your source. I remember what one Ngbo man from your state told people abroad when they go to what party. He will come to their door and write Chetekwa Kejimade. That remember how home is. So
Exactly.
the man is always conscious of what? Home. So when you talk about home, it is your base. So your base can never be neglected. You cannot go and fund another place without remembering your what? Base. You have to start fresh at home. Charity begins at home. That is an old woman talks. You know, when we talk about old women talks, we talk about those talks when they say it, you look at it in the Bible. They are not in the Bible, but they are in reality. So when you talk about your base is so
I have
important.
my own point at this point.
Yes,
I have my own point at this point.
Okay.
My point is this. I'm not against anybody building in their village or in their country home, like we said. But my point is, when somebody would, okay, let's assume you have managed to build that first 2-bedroom flat, where you come back, you get your comfort, like you said, you get your privacy, and yet you refuse to invest where you have return on investment, and you go ahead and build edifice. You see some people, they make
I don't even entirely agree with you. I don't entirely agree with you, sir, because I would say wealth.
You are not the person that is even getting me.
I don't.
No, when you talk about
let me
when you talk about real estate investment,
Okay.
real estate investment is very nice.
Okay.
Nobody is arguing with it.
Okay.
You understand? It's very nice. It's very wonderful. It's very tremendous. It's paying. It's pay out. In our February home, we call it what? Purple Friday. On that day, everybody smiles. We all know that. But we need to face the reality.
Okay. And what is the reality?
The reality
So tell us
is
the
that
reality.
what? Your base is first from anything you are talking. Because if you are saying,
I beg to differ. Please, real estate doctor, I beg to differ. I beg to differ. Have you heard that principle that wealth comes before luxury?
Yes.
Wealth comes before luxury.
Yes.
See, let me tell you, I'm just giving you this advice coming from a real estate oracle.
Okay.
You know, everything I come for you is divine. It's from God. I'm an oracle. in the real estate sector. Let me tell you.
in the dictionary, we have B before P.
Thank you.
Business before pleasure.
Real estate oracle. First thing you have to do as a young man, leave your comfort. See, as far as you have a place you lay your head, haven't you seen what is happening? Young men move from their village, come into Lagos, they can stay up to 10 in a room, making money.
I like like that.
Let me go. Having that pen in a room, and at that point they are investing, they are making investment.
Do you know this?
After that investment, when you hit that money, when your returns on investment start coming in, that is the point you can go into building. But don't rush into building first.
I want to use an average Abakaliki man in Lagos to talk to you.
Okay.
I want to use them to make a very clear example. All those Abakaliki guys that hawk.
Okay.
If you come to where they are eating, they can eat rice without eating meat.
Okay.
And you will be asking them, okay, what are you going to do with this money? The man will tell you that what? He has something project at what? Home. Anything they are working in this Lagos is what? Home.
Do you know
now,
that?
Now, what I'm trying to say is that what? Your own investment is talking about moving out of home. I am not disagreeing with your investment. Like I said before, investment is a very nice thing.
No, but my own investment is not even gearing towards moving out of home. There's what we call land banking.
Mr. Chino, so let me tell you.
You understand what we call land banking? That is where I'm gearing towards.
Let me ask you a question.
You can get property and allow it.
You know she's trying to side you.
No.
I believe
I'm not.
She's supposed to be neutral.
I'm neutral here, but I'm trying to throw a question, which I also throw to him later. I want to ask you a question. How do you understand that the business of real estate has to do with intentionality?
Yes, I know that.
You know,
it
has to do with intentionality, and it is only the wise that understands that the answer to means of making money legit is property.
Madam, do you know that before I joined real estate, I used to get afraid of real estate till Affable Homes Limited changed my mindset due to the way they do their things, due to their fast allocation, due to the way they attend to clients, due to the way they purchase their properties, no problem. Other real estate companies mention them have given real estate a bad name. And that's why sometimes I used to praise Affable Homes Limited of trying to change that level. Telling people that these things are real.
Like on 22nd of this month, that's Saturday, we are going for allocation.
Yes, telling people that you can get an allocation. I believe you on that side, but you can't tell an average man. And that's why we are trying to tell people here to understand it. You can't tell an average man.
Average man that is wise who know that property is the answer. That's what I want to tell you.
Average man that is wise know that property is the answer. But we are talking about home. I'm very, very concerned about home. Because we can't take it that charity begins at home. Not be my talk, not be your talk.
Okay, wait, ma, I ask you.
Let me I have something to tell you.
Because I want to ask you a question too.
Warren Buffett said.
Okay.
He said, don't lose money. Don't lose money. What does he mean by don't lose money? Now, he was trying to compare building in a timid area and then investing in a place that has potentials to grow. Now, he considers building in a village area losing money. Now, if you, let's say a young man that is growing, you go to your village, you build your home. Now, aside that comfortability you are looking for, does building in the village put money in your pocket? I just need yes or no.
No.
Does it put money in your pocket?
No,
just yes or no.
I will answer you.
No.
Hold on. You asked a question. You relax for the answer.
I just need, this is a polar question. Just say yes or no answer.
You relax for
does
the
it put
answer.
money in your pocket?
It depends on where that building is built. And
He said if you ask a question, you should relax for the answer. So relax for the answer.
Relax for the answer.
Exactly.
It depends on where the building is built in the village. Now, let me tell you.
So what is that your village again? What is that your village?
Leave my village out.
No. I will not leave your village. No, you are getting
before his village people will come after you. Leave his village. Village people will come after you.
Madam, some people
you are interested. No. You are interested in building your home. No, you are interested in building your home. You said home is more important to you, right? You are interested in building in your home. So let's use that your home for example. What is that your home?
Okay, I'm from Umaru.
Was that what you told me?
Yes, I'm from Umaru.
Now, building in that Umaru, that your village, what money does he put in your pocket?
Now, if building in now you talk about what long-term investments. You are the person that said it.
No, all I need is a simple answer. Does he put money in your pocket?
Okay, if I build in my village, even though he didn't give me money today, he will give me money tomorrow.
How?
He will give me money tomorrow.
How will
Now,
he
why
give you
is
money
going to give
tomorrow?
me
Because
money tomorrow that every fixed asset appreciates.
okay,
going to give you money tomorrow.
okay. Let's analyze building in your village now. You build in your village. How long do you think it will take to give you money, and how does it intend to give you money?
Now, it depends on what I build in my village.
Okay, you build a
It
3-bedroom
depends
bungalow.
on what I build in my village.
No, we want to be practical. We want to be
are
practical. You
but
built a
can
3-bedroom
never-
bungalow in
My
your
brother,
village.
you are practical, but you are going unconventional. Now, what I'm trying to say is this. Listen to me. What I'm trying to say
I like the way
you're
punching this your grammar.
What I'm trying to say is this.
Okay.
You are practical, but you are deviating from the main point.
Okay.
Now, the main point is this. Village, what favor Mr. A can never favor Mr. B. Villages are not the same. There's a villages that are more open than other villages.
If I talk, you say I'm siding.
Yeah.
Now that you're saying that villages are not the same.
Yes.
That means before you invest in your village, you should take proper account of your village.
That is what
Now,
it means.
No.
But let's see. You should be able to
Thank you for that. It means that before you go into your village, you need to look at your village and be sure if your village is town or
Madam,
not.
thank you for that wonderful point.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
I like that wonderful point.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, let me, if I always talk from an accounting point of view, I'm an accountant.
Okay.
Naturally, I'm an accountant. And I need to tell you something. When you come to accounting point of view, that what we call extraordinary item and exceptional item.
Wow.
Now, exceptional items are items you cannot deal without. Now, if you come here, there's an extraordinary items here. Without these things, this place can still exist, like television. Without them, we can still run this estate office.
Okay.
But when you come to exceptional items here,
I'm trying to understand where you are coming from. I've not seen where you are coming from.
I'm coming.
Keep
Now,
coming.
building in your village is exceptional. You
How?
cannot change it.
Before excuse me, is exceptional before investment. Before investing
it's
in
exceptional
real estate.
because you are not going to live for. You are talking about living. Do you know that some of us, some of young men, grow up living on other people's house in the village?
Exactly. Okay.
They are not comfortable with it. They have to bear it. And immediately you reach the age, the person wants you to get your own house. No matter how bad it is.
As a young man that is growing up, you are not supposed to be after comfortability.
Okay,
You are not getting the point. You are not.
Are you married?
I'm not married
You
yet.
are not married.
I'm not married
Now,
yet. Why would I be okay?
No, you know why I asked you that
Myself,
question?
why would I
Do
be
you know why I
after
asked you that- Do you know
comfortability?
why I asked you that question?
Okay.
Do you know why I asked you that question?
Okay.
As a young guy, you may have side chicks. Let's be real.
Okay.
Now, if you
But I don't have side chicks.
you should have. You should have.
Are you enforcing it on me to have side
You
chicks?
should have. It's in your
You
face.
people
You
should
should
round
have.
this thing up.
Now, why I'm
We'll soon be
saying-
rounding up. So
Now, why I'm
let's.
saying this is what?
Okay.
The first thing your child is asks you, where do you stay? You want to know where you stay.
He's not
You
married
even
now,
live
so
in
he
your
cannot
house.
even have
See,
side
see,
chick.
I don't care. I don't care whether you like where I'm staying or not. You should not be after comfortability. As a young man that is growing up, the first thing that should be coming to your mind is, how do I make my money grow?
So building
How do
a
I
house-
make my money
building
grow?
a house
And how
in
to
the
make
village.
your money grow?
Building
you multiply your money.
Let me be practical. Building a house in the village is a waste. For now, for a young man who is growing
It's a
up,
waste for
it's
now.
a waste
So
for a
that
young man who
means
is
you will
growing
not
up,
go back to
because
your
you are
village.
going to tie your money in
Are
something
you not going
doesn't.
to go back to your
I
You
will
know
go back to
that
my
if
village,
I
but I
told you,
don't
start
care
taking
about whether
side.
I'm
But
comfortable.
you know
The
that-
first thing
how
is
many
let my
times you
investment
travel
grow.
in a year to the
That is where I'm
village?
interested in. Let my investment
many
grow.
times you travel
Thank you.
in
How
a
many
year?
times do you even travel in a year?
No, even
That house is there wasted.
There are people
And let
that
me tell you,
travel every month.
and let me tell you,
There are
if you
people that
and let me
travel
tell you,
every month.
any point you want to travel, you want to renovate that place, you want to make it look fine, you are still wasting money that could have been
Do
invested.
you know that there's people that have business in Lagos and they still have their business in the village?
Exactly.
So-
We know. But how much does your business in the village give you? See, there is no amount
That
of things
is
that
why
you
I
tell
said
me
it depends
that will
on the
make me.
village.
In as much
It
as
depends on the village.
I'm not against any person building in their village. But I'm of the opinion that you must have an investment first.
But-
let your investment
bros,
fund that lifestyle you are looking for.
Let me ask you a question.
All right.
Investment fund.
I need to ask
We are
this
going
question.
to end
Hold on, I need to
this
ask
show
this question
very
before
soon
you
now.
end your show.
Okay.
Yes, and because
Okay.
it's like we are one-sided.
No,
I want to ask you
I'm
this.
not.
Do you
But the
believe?
truth of the
Do you
matter
believe
is,
in the? Do you believe in morality?
I
The
believe
law that
in morality.
govern human behavior.
Okay.
Now, if you believe in morality, you wouldn't be talking like this. Because the human behavior believes that what? Charity begins at what? Home. He wants to go and do investment of 200 million outside. I want to give some instances.
Oh, so
Do you know that there are some Nigerians that do? Do you know that there are some Nigerians that do?
So wait.
Hold on.
Charity
Some
begins
Nigerians
at home doesn't mean that you should go and carry your money, the money that should help you grow funds to
Okay,
go
do you
and
know that-
build house
do you
and
know
go
that
and
some
tie it down.
Nigerians
Do you
do their investment
know
in
that
Sudan?
building in village is tying your
Do
money
you know
down?
that some Nigerians
Money
do their
that-
investment in Sudan?
See, let me tell you.
What
guys.
is happening in
Okay,
Sudan
okay,
now?
okay. Let's be practical, real estate doctor. How much do you think it takes to build a 3-bedroom bungalow?
In the village?
Yes.
It's not cheaper than building it in the town.
Okay, let's just say building 3-bedroom bungalow will take you 25 million. Let's just say 25 million. We are using that as an example. I'm not saying that's the amount.
Oh.
Now, you made your money and you carry 25 million and go and tie it down in the village inside something that is not generating money. Is that not waste of resources?
It's for
That
you.
is what I tell you, that there's what
That
we
is for
call,
you. That
there is
is-
what
no,
we
no,
call,
that is for you.
Jesus.
No, no,
It's
that is
waste of
for you.
resources. First
If
of
you
all,
call
that money is supposed to, do you know that 25 million naira, if you put it into real estate, first as a young man that is growing, that money can make for you 100 million
that is
naira.
for you.
And you
No,
can
no.
use, instead of
That is for
building,
you.
instead of
What
building
is
3-bedroom
for you?
bungalow,
I don't know.
you
I
can
don't
use
know.
50
What is
million
benefiting
and
you?
build
Benefit
semi-duplex.
I don't know. Okay,
What
it's
are you
all right.
telling me?
It's all right. You have made your point. You have made your point. But I don't know how you will see it. Like, madam, you should not take sell and all of that. There's something at Fable Homes called land banking, buy to sell and all of that. Assume somebody invests 150 million and we're trading it for you in our Fable Homes. And after 1 year, 12 months, that the 13th month, you get your capital. That is 150 million back and 45 million. Can you now compare it to the person that went to the village to bury 150 million just to build to impress
Just
people?
sitting there.
I'm not taking side, I'm just sharing my own opinion.
Okay.
So now you have made a point, but I want to agree and I want to say this before we go that the best thing to do is just be economical and wise. We know that wise investors know too well that property is always the answer. So you can never ever overemphasize the need for real estate investment. That is just the truth. In as much as we need shelter, yes, but let it not be that it will take the larger part of our income. It should be something that should be a necessity that is fulfilled while we now focus on investment. There is no man, I've never seen a man that makes his first 100 million and put it in building in the village and still continue. Less. Maybe that man has
No,
more.
there are some people that still do that.
No.
Some people
If
still
there are
do that.
people that are doing that,
Someone like the real estate doctor, that's what he's going to do.
More than people do that.
Somebody like the real estate doctor, from what you are
I will
telling
do
me,
that.
see,
I
let me
will
tell
do
you,
that.
from what you are telling me, you are trying to let me know that you do not have the psychology of wealth
Alright.
building.
all right.
You do not have
So
the psychology of wealth building. That is what you are trying to tell me. Because if you develop the psychology of building wealth or wealth creation, you will understand that, yes, the first money that is coming to your hand as a man, as a businessman, as someone who has that mentality for real estate growth is to invest
we'll
first.
come back on this matter.
Do not
You
tie
have
your
not heard the
money
last
down.
of this matter. This is part A. We are coming back for part B. All right, for you, my viewers there. Mr. Chinonso Michael said, oh, he will build in his village, Umolu in Imo State. It doesn't matter whether somebody will rent the house or not. He wants to make sure that he's
That charity begins at home.
yes, he's fulfilling the law of the talk of old women that looks like Bible quotation. Why the oracle himself, real estate oracle, is saying that, oh, no matter what, even if I'm living in a shanty or in a what do you call it, hut, if I make my first 100 million or 50 million, 25 million, I'm not going to impress anybody in the village. I'm still putting it back into the real estate.
I'm not impressing any side chick
I'm
as you
telling
say, but
you,
I don't have
so
side
that
chicks.
I will be able to
Let the
multiply my
viewers know I don't have side
fund.
chicks.
Yes, he said so that he'll be able to multiply his fund, and then when he will arrive well, you know. So I don't know about you, our viewers out there. I want you to go to the comment box. Tell us what you think when you make that first huge money through any business that is legit that you're doing, and maybe you don't have any house in the village. Are you going to put that money to real estate so that you can multiply your income either through buy to sell, land banking and all of that? Or are you going to rush to your village to build and fence it and come back to Lagos to continue from the point one that you have been before now? Let us know your opinion in the comment box. Then from there, we'll now understand whether we'll have part 2 of this podcast of today topic that says country home investment and real estate investment. Which way? All right. Thank you very much for giving us your time and keeping a date with us till our next edition. I want to say thank you very much, Mr. Chinon. So even though you accuse me of taking side, I have benefited so much from real estate. I could not watch you say, oh, my daddy built in the village. And honestly, that man did not live how many times in that village. If that house he built then was built in Lagos, by now would have made so much money that would not enable us to build edifice in the village. But that's by the way, till when we come up, to part 2 of this. Thank you so much. I love your stand. You said charity begins at home. And to you, the oracle himself, the real estate oracle. By the way, are you married?
Because I'm not married yet.
You are a handsome man. Please marry fast. I know you want to make
I'm
money.
ugly now.
No, wait. Don't start again. I'm not taking side. Oh, this man will see you. Okay. Are you married? See your fine nose. Are you married?
No, I'm ugly.
Wait now.
You would have asked me first.
Okay. No,
You would have asked me
but he
first.
introduced himself first.
No. You would have asked me.
Okay, let's cancel it. Are you married? Are you married?
I'm not married.
Okay, so you are single and searching.
Yes.
Are you single and searching?
I'm not married, but I'm not searching.
Okay, Asa is there. Okay, no problem. You are searching. You'll find a good one because you are a very good speaker. Thank you very much, guys, for coming to Alphabet TV podcast. We hope to see people when we invite you again. But till then, I'm still Ambassador Godwin Rosemary Onyeka, the woman with the microphone. Ciao.
I have some. Sorry, you've actually asked me one.